So getting your sequencing correct in your downswing can really help you hit the ball long and straight. But are you one of those golfers who kind of intellectually knows what you're supposed to do, but really can't put all the pieces together and finds it incredibly tough? Well, if you are, today's video is going to be perfect for you. So with so much information out there about how you start the downswing, I think most golfers are aware that we want to start by pressing into the ground, then getting the legs working, then we get the hips working, then the body, arms, and then finally the club firing. But even when you say it out loud like that, it sounds like a lot of things to think about. And if you do think about them all, there is no chance of you doing it. So I'm a massive believer that majority of people watching this video will already have learned how to do this sequence correctly when they were a little child. So I'm going to show you in this video how you're going to unlock that little secret that you learned as a child and get you hitting the ball long and straight with every club in the bag. Right then, so what is good sequencing? So it's when you get to the top of your backswing, we start our movement from the ground up, going through the feet, through the legs, through the hips, into the torso, through the arms, and finally into the golf club to produce something like this. And we can see 88 mile an hour, 170 carry with my club moving on the inside. Now, unfortunately, with most golfers, that's not a sequence that I see too much. So more often of what I see with golfers, maybe lower body doesn't get involved enough. And we can see there, still 74 mile an hour, still fairly straight, 103. But the club path there was moving nearly 9 degrees out to in. And what makes it very difficult, really challenging, and obviously there's a lot of information out there on the golf swing, is a lot of people say, well, you need to start with your hips. You need to turn those hips out of the way. So the first thing I then see golfers do is they get to the top of their swing, try and turn the hips out of the way to start. And they might have got a little bit more speed, but the path's still out to win. And all of a sudden that one's way left. Still, I mean, good distance at 155. So it's trying to understand for a lot of golfers. I think intellectually, golfers can definitely understand that we want to start kind of with a shift of pressure with the feet, but they're then not really sure how that all equates into the rest of the golf swing. So a really simple way of feeling it, I think, is if I was going to throw a ball into that net. Most golfers, or most people, when they throw a ball, use the ground perfectly. And they will get that push with the feet, then the hips unwind, then the torso goes, and then the arm. But I think what can be difficult, and I've spoken about this in videos in the past, that everyone finds it easy throwing the ball. They don't always find it as easy understanding that once the club's there, how do they get that movement to get the club going correctly? So I've got a medicine ball. You don't need to use a medicine ball for this, but I'm going to show you face on. I'm going to throw it against my newly built wall. Now, it's not very thick, so I'm not going to throw it as hard as I can, but I'm hoping the med ball's not going to go straight through this wall. But I'm going to take it back like I would in the golf swing, and I'm going to try and throw it against the wall. And I want you to watch when I do it, and I'll slow it down afterwards, how once I get here, obviously the body's turned to take the medicine ball back, how to move that medicine ball in this direction, how I'm going to push with my legs and my feet, and then everything's going to fire from there. So hopefully this comes straight back to me. So the wall survived. And I can definitely feel, even for me there, how I want to maybe use my feet that little bit more. It's almost like my body drops down to feel like I'm going to move, gain some momentum into that med ball. So I think if you can get that feeling, which nearly everybody I work on that with can, and it doesn't need to be a med ball, just imagine that you're tossing something that way. Most people initially will go like that, not use the legs. Put something with a little bit of weight in your hands and feel like you're going to move it. So if I then do a little half swing and try and get that same kind of feeling. So that felt a really tiny swing. I've got 75 mile an hour club head speed, carried 134, and I've swung the club from the inside. So we can see straight away there my sequencing's better. Even from a little swing, I'm generating lots of speed and getting some good control. So I'm going to go a little bit longer and then try and get that same feeling of how I get that club moving in the opposite direction. That felt really good. So 85 mile an hour and 173 yard carry and 4 degrees from the inside. So we're definitely on something here, aren't we? So can I now get into my full swing and get that same feeling in there? Again, that felt great. 90 mile an hour, 181, still 4 degrees from the inside. So we can see the more I'm working on that feeling of like I'm going to throw the club into the screen, the club's dropping on the inside, I'm generating more speed, and I'm going to hit the ball further and further. Again, bang on 90 mile an hour, 176 carry, and 2 degrees from the inside. So how good would that be that by learning to throw as a young child, you've already learned the correct sequencing for how that downswing happens? And if you can then take that feeling from throwing a ball or tossing a medicine ball into your golf swing, you're now going to have the perfect sequencing in your downswing, and you're going to hit the ball longer and straighter than ever before. Right then, so hopefully you could see there that when I got that sequencing correct, and even for me, you saw there was a definite pickup in my normal club head speed, that I think the throwing concept, I've spoken about it before, and maybe some golfers struggle with the overarm throw. But when you're kind of tossing the ball underarm or something heavier like the medicine ball that I did, it shows how incredibly good we are at putting momentum into that object. And we do it by using our feet, then our legs, hips, torso, arms in perfect sequence. And we don't actually think about it at all, which should make it win-win because we do it better and we actually have to think about it less. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below, and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you've enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe, please consider clicking the button below. Remember to ring the notification bell, then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.